my name is Brecht. Welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to give you my long-term review of the Bluetti AC200MAX. As you can see here, I've had my AC200MAX since about the end of March of 2022, so I've been using it for quite a few months already. And as you can see here, I've also purchased a Bluetti B230 extra battery module with an additional 2000 watts of power, 2 kilowatt hours. So why did I choose the Bluetti AC200MAX? Well, I'm in a very specific situation. Unlike most, I'm not using my Bluetti for my camper or hikes or storm outages or anything like that. Actually, I have a secondary building to my home, and I wanted to take that part of my home off-grid. So while most Bluetti users only use their Bluetti occasionally, I'm actually using it on a day-to-day basis, really 24/7, to be honest. And before I made my purchase, I did quite a lot of research. So first I was looking into all of the different kinds of solar generators. So you have a bunch of brands out there, like Jackery, Zero, and obviously Bluetti. But it took me, I think, about a month or so to really go in depth and compare all of the different models and all of the different technologies. And Bluetti really shines in terms of battery technology, especially the AC200MAX here, because where most solar generators are powered by a lithium-ion battery, which usually have about 1,000 charging cycles, so discharge and fully recharge. The Bluetti AC200MAX is powered by a LiFePO4 battery, which is significantly better. It's more expensive, but it's better in terms of longevity, and it's less prone to issues like, for example, if you would technically penetrate the battery with a screwdriver, by accident of course, a lithium-ion battery would really basically just ignite and burn, whereas the LiFePO4 batteries are far less prone to ignite, so they're actually just much safer. So that's why I opted for the AC200MAX here. And the secondary advantage that I needed was actually that I could basically extend the module, because this one has 2048 watt hours, so about 2 kilowatts of power, continuous use. And well, this one is the B230, which adds another 2048 kilowatt hours. So combined, I got about 4 kilowatts of continuous use. So that's pretty darn awesome. Now, because I'm powering my home, part of my home at least, I didn't go for foldable solar panels or anything like that. I actually went for 2 Trina solar panels, 2 380 watt solar panels, which I've actually linked up in series, and they're on the roof of my secondary building right now. And those two power my AC200MAX. They charge it on a daily basis. And the reason I got my 230 is really because those panels are performing so good that on certain days I was going to 100% in just a couple of hours, and I couldn't drain my AC200MAX fast enough. Now, to give you an indication, the drainage, in my secondary building, I've got my washer, my dryer, my fridge or freezer. I'm also powering my robot, my gardening robot with it, and I'm powering all of my outside lighting with it. So it gets used quite intensively, and especially the last couple of weeks we've had some amazing hot weather here in Belgium, and I've seen my freezer do about a kilowatt a day in usage just to keep everything cool. So it's been really hot over here, and well, the AC200MAX has tackled it flawlessly. Um, if you go over the device, it's yeah, it's plastic first and foremost. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, it's plastic, but believe me, it's a really high grade, really firm plastic. I don't have any creaks or cracks or anything. I don't hear anything while I'm moving the unit. And believe me, it's heavy. So if the plastic wasn't top notch, it would make a sound. Um, and well, the AC200MAX is really well spec'd. So on the front, we've got 4 different well, AC ports. Yeah, AC ports. We have several USB ports over there, both the USB A and one USB C type port. I've got a 12-volt DC port over there, and I've got 2 wireless charging pads on top. So that's really awesome. On this side, we have some charging ports. So we have the charging port for the solar energy. I've got a charging port for the power adapter, and I've got 2 extension ports that allow, with a ginormous cable, us to connect basically the AC200MAX to the B230, and this extends this battery at that point. Now, the Bluetti has been performing honestly like a champ. I didn't get any errors, I didn't have any issues. Yeah, the fan makes some noise sometimes, but well, since I'm basically keeping it in my secondary building, I don't have any issues with that. And to be frank, it only will well, it will only make a sound when it's on a under very high load. So uh, imagine taking 2000 watts at once. Yes, then the fan will kick in and help with the cooling of the batteries, because batteries that discharge rapidly will generate heat, even LiFePO4 batteries. So yes, you can hear the fan, but it's not a nuisance or anything like that. So I really don't mind. It's a great piece of kit. Then the pros, well, or the pros, why I chose the Bluetti is basically the extendability of the platform. So I can still purchase another B230 and just link that up to the AC200MAX as well. So that would give me somewhere in the range of 6,000 watt hours of performance. So at this point, I'm doing 4,000 watt hours, and to be fair, I have never succeeded in draining it in at all at once in one day. Like, for example, today I've been done 3 runs of the washing machine. The robot lawnmower has been going around twice, so it had to recharge twice. And yeah, if you just check, let's just power it on. I think the power is right now around somewhere 40% ish. So yeah, that's 32. But we also made a meal using power from this one as well. So there's plenty of power with the Bluetti AC200MAX, especially when you combine it with some high level, high grade solar panels, really. I am planning on extending it even more, because the B230 also has a charging input on the side. So that means that technically I could add 2 or 4 more solar panels and just link them in series, in 2 separate series, and that would give me a tremendous charging performance, basically allowing me to charge these 2 beauties in somewhere around 3 to 4 hours, fully charged from zero. So that's awesome, and you don't even need to have peak performance conditions on the weather for that. So that's awesome. Now, if you're planning on buying a solar generator, I would strongly suggest first and foremost to check on your needs, the needs of your power, because you really need to know how many watt hours do I need, what's the peak surge that I would be doing, because this device, for example, can deliver a continuous load of around 2000 watts. It can do 2200 watts for about 2 minutes, and it can do a peak surge to 4800 watts for about 8 seconds. If you exceed those 8 seconds on a 4800 watt charge, the system will power down and go into alert, which, well, seems obvious because those are simply the limitations of the inverter. Now, to get to know your power needs, I would suggest getting a device like this. This is a simple power meter, so you plug this in to the wall, you plug your outlet in here, and a device like this can show you what's your peak wattage that you're using, but it will also tell you for an entire run of a device how many watt hours have you used. So that's how I discovered that my washer, for example, does about 0.6 kilowatt hours on a single run. So there's plenty of power in these two babies to power that all. And that's how you get the values that you need. I would suggest jotting them down in Excel or something like that, and then be honest with yourself and try to jot down the maximum amount of times you use it on a daily basis, and then you just combine all of those values and see just how many kilowatt hours you need. And that would give you an idea of, is the AC200 Max something for me, perhaps in combination with a B230 battery extension module, or do I need something larger like the AC300 or the upcoming AC500, for example? That's entirely a personal choice, but to me, well, just using an AC200 Max and my B230, I'm actually powering all of my heavy users in my secondary parts of my home. So fridge, freezer, washer, dryer, my robot lawnmower, I'm even powering my my filtration of my jacuzzi, for example, just to give you an idea. These things are powerful. They can take a lot. They are amazing when combined with great solar panels, and I couldn't go without them. Now, the single con against the AC200 Max, I think, at least for me it is, so the AC200 Max has Bluetooth on board, and it has an app allowing you to just perfectly check on your out, how much is flowing out, how much is coming in. The only downside to the entire device is that it does not support Wi-Fi, and that's for me the only downside. But it's well, it's something I can work around. If you get an old mobile phone, you install TeamViewer Mobile, and you leave it in the vicinity of your AC200 Max, technically you just could check everything remotely. But that said, I would have loved if Bluetti had included a Wi-Fi module or given us the option to extend it with some Wi-Fi module or something like that. So I was able to check from, well, from work, for example, to see how my Bluetti was doing. But to be fair, I don't check it all that much, even though not when I'm at home, because I know my Bluetti is always there for me. It's always working perfectly, and I always have power to spare. So thank you, Bluetti. I love this device. I hope this was this proved to be somewhat of some help to any folks out there that might suggest getting a solar generator. If you have any questions concerning the B230 or the AC200 Max and my specific use of it, please leave your question in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really shows me that you like this content and you want to see more about my Bluetti experiences. So, hope hope to see you again in the next video. Bye.